take them off.
The female employer required the job seekers to take off their trousers and then examined each of them meticulously one by one. None of the men present dared to resist. Yet only George in the corner didn't comply with the request. This piqued the woman's curiosity. She fixed her gaze on George, whose eyes were avoiding hers, even though George was eager to decline. If he lost this job opportunity, he and his pregnant wife at home would be forced to live on the streets as they couldn't afford the rent. And the female employer was particularly fond of his obstinate demeanor. The moment she saw George take off his trousers, she promptly sent away the other job applicants and informed George that he had successfully passed the interview. His colleagues greeted him enthusiastically. George inquired whether everyone had to undergo such an interview. Subsequently, he was led by a colleague to a calendar. On it were inscribed the names of the employees, and George's name was precisely scheduled for the following week. On that day, they were obliged to keep the boss company alone. George went back home in a state of hesitation and discovered that his pregnant wife had prepared a pleasant surprise for him. He suddenly felt a deep sense of guilt towards his wife. Thus, the next day, he went to the company with his resignation letter. However, before he could hand it in, the boss took the initiative to promote him and raised his salary by 5 times. In order to provide his wife with a better life, George abandoned the thought of resigning and went to the office as promised. When he pushed open the door, he saw the boss dressed in alluring clothes. Startled, George hastily shut the door, but the boss walked straight over and demanded that George carry out his job duties.